Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Coffee and KO's pre-fight show. And oh my God, guys, before we get into anything, what the fuck happened last night? I told you guys that that's exactly how that was going to go, and that's exactly what happened. Logan Paul
shocked the world. Logan Paul shocked the world and outboxed Floyd Mayweather. And Floyd Mayweather's an absolute bum, and Logan Paul is the greatest boxer of all time. KSI landed more clean shots against Logan Paul than Floyd Mayweather did to the head.
And there you have it. There's that whole thing was just garbage. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't see it. I didn't actually see it. I just saw the clips. I was very busy yesterday. I didn't get a chance to see it. But from what I saw, that was atrocious. That was as bad as it gets. And I'm just, I think it's just I'm sick of. I'm getting to the point where I'm almost sick of it because it's not like I was more excited for the Chad Johnson highlights than I was for the Logan Paul Floyd Mayweather. And you can just tell from MMA Twitter, the people that tuned in and they're just like, I can't believe anyone would pay money for that. Why would anyone spend? I wouldn't even spend $1 on that shit. Did you see
awful. How much Logan got paid?
Was it $500K?
$20 million.
No, I heard 20 mil is far fetched. I heard it was $500K and then whatever the pay-per-view buys were.
So fun story, guys. I was going to purchase it and stream it for my friends on Discord, right?
No, why would you do that?
Just online, right? I was watching an illegal stream, so not playing.
You were watching a legal.
I wasn't watching an illegal stream. I was watching a very legal stream, and I went to go purchase more legal streams of the fight. Correct, right? And you couldn't buy it through the Showtime app or anything. There was a bad gateway the entire night. So my friend, it's called Taylor's brother, Casey, purchased the fight and couldn't watch it. Could not watch it. Yeah. So he's going to get a refund. Apparently, numerous people suffered this issue. So illegal streams were pretty popping last night.
Illegal streams are back.
Illegal streams were very much popping. Dana White didn't get rid of shit. He caught one guy or whatever. But anyway, it was horrible. It was okay. So I'll break it down for you, right? So round one, Logan Paul goes out there, puts Floyd Mayweather in a corner, and actually hits a pretty decent right hand that causes Floyd to shell up. And then he proceeds to go absolute ape shit, just winging hooks. And Floyd, of course, is going to block all of that shit. And then after that, there was no action pretty much for the rest of the fight. It was just Floyd hitting him a little bit, Logan hitting a nice jab and then check right hook. And that was it. There was not too much accent. Floyd missed a lot, though. Floyd telegraphed so many damn shots. I expected him to actually, but it seemed like he didn't train. I expected him to actually land some decent shots, but didn't. The fight was just boring, to be honest.
And how about it goes to decision, and then there's just no one wins.
I knew that was going to happen. I swear boxing is rigged somewhat. I swear behind closed doors, these guys are you know what? This and scripted that whole shit. I'm sorry. I feel that way. Same thing with the freaking Askren Jake Paul thing. I don't know. There's just something about it that is very, very fishy to me.
Boxing is always fishy. It's always sham-like. If you saw the co-main event, it was this former world champion, Badu Jack, fought this guy, and there was a 3 knockdown rule. And the first 2 knockdowns, he just went down on purpose. You could clearly tell it was just selling. But no. So okay, I'll explain. Floyd Mayweather is not a power puncher. He has never been a power puncher.
Yes,
he never will be a power puncher. He hasn't been since he fought at lightweight, which is 135 in boxing. And he's 44 years old. didn't train that heavily for it, and Logan Paul like actually trained for the fight. Also, a lot of Floyd's counters aren't going to work against someone that much bigger than him. Logan was literally staying on the edge of everything, and the only way that Floyd could close distance was either to eat shots while coming in or to just try to throw something quick, but it's also telegraphed from the outside. And he did that over and over again, and Logan kind of made a miss. I'll be honest, I think Logan Paul hit him more times cleanly than Floyd did, if we're being honest. Like, of course, Floyd won, like to the head. Floyd hit a lot of shots to the body, and Logan Paul's cardio was gone after round 3, so why did it even happen? I have no clue. I'm telling you right now, though, I would actually enjoy watching a Jake Paul versus Floyd Mayweather fight. Because Jake Paul is a much better boxer than Floyd Mayweather, and he's also not going to get tired, and he's going to talk a shit ton of shit and legitimately try to go out there in a professionally licensed bout and knock out Floyd Mayweather. So I don't know, but we'll see. Oh God. I don't know. Boxing's in a horrible place, and I tweeted this last night. This is the reason why the UFC and MMA in general has taken over as the go-to combat sport to watch whenever you want to see legitimate competition between two people that results in violence. It's just completely surpassed boxing. Like the fact that card last night will sell more than Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence for a title unification at 147 pounds, which is like the big money division. It's kind of like 155 for boxing. That's a huge fight, and this will sell probably 3 times as much as that one will.
Yeah, but now we're seeing like Paulo Costa come out. He's pissed with all the fighter pay going on. At what point is this going to just kind of blow up, and all the UFC fighters are going to be like, "This is actually bullshit. Like, what are we doing?"
I don't know. Because if you want, I'll put it this way. The UFC has such a stranglehold on the sport that it's not going to matter. All the best fighters can go to Bellator. Whoever the UFC signs is going to be what people watch because the UFC is synonymous with MMA. It just is.
And also not all the fighters could make that transition to boxing. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like every MMA fighter is going to be able to just, I'm going to be a boxer now. Cause not everyone's a boxer in MMA. They're wrestlers, everything else. So it wouldn't like, there might be certain guys. Paulo Costa is just a bitch. I'm sorry. He's just a straight up bitch. I don't know how, like, I never signed the bout agreement, blah, blah, blah. No, he just don't want to fight. I don't know that there's someone in the UFC that I hate more at this point than Paulo Costa. I literally cannot stand him.
I'll put it this way about fighter pay. If you start paying the fighters boxer money, you're not going to have fun cards.
Because you can't pay to have all these top
You can't pay to have all these
people.
Guys. You can't have a roster of 500 fighters.
And you're not going to have a 3 title fight cards.
Like, everyone likes to shit on them for fighter pay, and I think those top of the line guys that are headlining pay-per-views should get a lot of money or just a bigger portion of the pay-per-view, But at the end of the day, you're not going to be seeing stacked ass cards. Like you're not going to see a card like what we have this weekend if you're paying Izzy $12 million to fight, which is probably what he's worth, if you compare it to what boxers have. But boxing cards have 1-2 championship fights, and there's fucking 4 championship belts at each weight class. So just think about how many champions there are out there, and a lot of them don't even make millions, So it's kind of give and take. Like, the UFC fighters don't get paid as much for being as big as superstars. Like, Conor should definitely be making way more money. Just like look at their numbers. Izzy has 5 million Instagram followers. Like, they're way bigger and more popular than boxers, but the money's just not there because they don't have stacked ass cards.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you like the sport as the UFC and is in general with these stacked cards, that's really what you're gonna get. But
yeah, I agree. I think the fighter pay should go up a little bit. I don't know about boxer pay, but I think it still could be higher than what it is. But I agree, though. I don't want to. For me as a fan, I think I would like to see fighters get paid more, but at the same time, I don't want to sacrifice 3 title fight cards with, like this card this weekend. Could you imagine the cost of it? Like, I know Nate Diaz isn't a champ, but he gets paid a shit ton. Then you have 2 champs on the card, Leon Edwards on there. Demian Maia is a vet, so that typically the guys that are in the UFC the longest, veterans, get paid a lot of money. So, he's probably getting a decent chunk of change. So it's one of those things where as a fan, like, I want the fighters to get paid more. We talk to a lot of fighters and it's like, yeah, we want those guys to get paid. But at the same time, as a fan, I don't want to sacrifice these stacked cards that we are like International Fight Week is always one of those weeks where it's like, this is potentially the greatest card of the year. And like, we've had this all year now. All of 2021 has been cards. The pay-per-view cards have just been like through the roof, minus the one that Kieran was at ended up being somewhat depleted and still was a great card. So it's one of those things where, it's very hard to lose something for them to get paid more, but at the same time, they deserve to get paid more because it's one of the toughest sports. And they literally have to work another job in order to stay afloat, which I think that if they got paid enough that they could do it full time without working another job, I think that would be enough. And we're not talking like $1 million each fighter, but we're talking like $100K. Like, is 100 in the grand scheme of things, like, okay, for beginner guys, like 80 to 100 guys that after, you're at like 3 or 4 fights in the UFC, maybe you're at like 150 to 200. Like, they have the money. The UFC has the money. They got so much money that it's insane.
They do, but I'll give you a comparison. The lower ranked guys are making about the same as people that open up boxing cards. For me, the pay discrepancy is really at the top end.
The top.
Because these boxers have their hands in way more than the UFC guys do as well. Also, it's like you have your promoter, and then you have sanctions, like sanctioning, like bodies, like WBC, WB, like all those different things, right? So, and you have the networks as well, and different promoters have different, like just like in MMA. But it'd be like, okay, is Matt Frivola $100,000 fighter?
No.
Yeah, I mean,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I don't know, like, because it's hard to talk about that because they definitely deserve more. They go in there and like put their fucking bodies on the line every single time, but at the same time, it's tough because the skill, like the pay discrepancy is really at the top, and that's hard to manage because you want to pay your superstars what they're worth, but in realistic terms, you should do it with pay-per-view buys. Like, they should just get a bigger percentage of the pay-per-view buys, but that pay is also not disclosed, like Conor McGregor deserves a big fucking piece of the pot. Conor McGregor needs to be making more money than Canelo Alvarez does. And that's just bottom line. He should be making more to show than Canelo Alvarez does. He's a way bigger star than Canelo Alvarez is right now. And that's the biggest face in boxing right now. And well, actually, Jake Paul is, to be completely honest with you. I'm not fucking with you either. That's the problem with boxing. But boxing's been around longer. I think we'll eventually get to the point where these fighters are making that much money. But it's going to come with a lot of things. I don't know. We'll see.
So before we get into the 263 card, Steve, any news? Or I know that there was only one matchup that I had saw which was Song Yadong versus Casey Kenney was booked, which is an exciting fight. I mean, I don't like Casey Kenney really. I don't like. To me, I like Song Yadong more than I like Casey Kenney. I thought Song Yadong fought Kyler Phillips pretty well, and I think he poses a threat to Casey Kenney. I'm gonna go. I'll probably go like a 3 on that fight, and I'm gonna go. If I made an early prediction, it'd be Song Yadong. But
yeah, we didn't have too many. I do have like another matchup that was in there, but yeah, this was definitely the second biggest one. I don't know, 2 prospects. I mean, you like to see them fight each other. It'll be nice. They'll both be. Are they ranked at this point? I think Kenny's like fringe 15.
Casey Kenney. I don't think either one is ranked.
Yeah, well, whoever wins this will definitely be closer to it. Casey Kenney didn't really impress at all against Dominic Cruz, who didn't really look like a great Dominic Cruz. So yeah, this is a fun fight because it's 2 young prospects, 2 pretty hot prospects. But yeah, maybe like a 3 is pretty good.
Just have to put that one in there.
Yeah,
UFC paid their top fighters, so top boxers get paid. We have a top 5 guy headlining with the rest of the card filled with Sam Alvey's, KB Bellars, Gina Mazani's, and Maurice Greens.
Did Maurice Green get cut yet? Yeah, he did.
We would essentially have last week's card, like just every week.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
we're pretty spoiled as UFC fans, and I know these guys deserve more at the top, but like shit, it's tough. It's gonna get there though. You just have to give it time. The sport's only 20-something years old.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like 20. Yeah, it's like 27 years old. Like yeah,
it's as old as me.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're old as shit. Good God.
Thanks. My hairline would say so.
Yeah, and your 2 children.
Yeah,
but any other matchups?
Anthony Smith, Ryan Spann.
Oh, yeah.
September 18th fight night. I mean, this is a good fight. Ryan Spann deserves a big name. Anthony Smith, I mean, who did he just fight? Jimmy Crute, right? So it's kind of, I don't know. It's just difficult matchups for him any way you look at it. But good for Ryan Spann. Gets a big name out of it. 2 well-rounded guys. I think this will be a fun one. I'll give it like a 4.
Either somebody gets knocked out or it's one of the sloppiest and ugliest tired fests that you ever seen in your life. It's probably a 3 for me.
Yeah, I go 3 too. I like both guys. Ryan Spann, I said this on the video that Karen and I just did. He's a guy that I like so many questions. Like he looks like he could be a star sometimes, and other times it's like, what the hell is he doing? Like there's just so many things with Ryan Spann. I think that this fight is perfect for him. I think it answers a lot of those questions that we might have because he did lose to Johnny Walker by just keeping his head down and wearing 900 elbows until he got knocked out. So, but then he comes out. Who was his last fight against? He knocked him out, I think. Was it
Misha Cirkunov?
Yeah, Misha Cirkunov.
Who gets knocked out by everybody now.
Yeah, right. So that's what I mean. I think that this will be a tougher. This will be a tougher test based on because Anthony Smith's a tough guy to put away. So we'll see. We'll see where Ryan Spann. If he loses this fight, though, I'm out on Ryan Spann.
Yeah, I'm gonna start classifying these guys that just go in there and get absolutely fucking destroyed every single time. Not destroyed, but just look like they were in fucking car crashes. I'm just gonna call them car crash fighters. Like Max Griffin is a car crash fighter.
Anthony he's Smith on my next one. He's on the next fight that matchup. Max Griffin, Carlos Condit. I mean, Carlos Condit's looked pretty solid, you know?
1.
That's a 1. I mean, Max Griffin,
Carlos
though,
Condit is old, and Max Griffin looks like he gets in a car crash every time.
Dude,
and
Max Griffin has been finishing people, though.
Still, I don't know. I don't know how he wears that much damages, but the fights don't. I never really remember them like as something great.
You don't remember when he hit the guy's ear off?
Yeah, he busted his ear open.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Still, he just looks like he's in a fucking car crash every time. He's a car crash fighter. Anthony Smith is a car crash fighter. I'm not excited to see a Max Griffin fight. I'm sorry. I would have been excited to see a Carlos Condit fight before, but someone that has been fighting this long and still has 0 takedown defense at all, I'm not. No. Max Griffin is going to take him down and lay on top of him. Probably get pieced up on the feet. I don't know. I'm not excited for that. Is that going to be is that going to be ESPN Plus UFC Fight Pass prelim?
It's UFC 264. That's got to be.
I'm giving it a 0.5. I'm not even giving it a 1.
I'll give it a 0.5. I'll give it a 2.
I give it a 2. It's got potential, though. It's got potential.
Yeah, and Max Griffin. I mean, you don't like fights that fighters look like they got in a car crash. So you don't like.
He does it without being exciting, though. I'm like, how the fuck are you look like you did this? And this fight wasn't memorable at all.
I thought his last fight. I
think you're misremembering some of his fights.
I don't know. I might be.
I think you're thinking of Jordan Griffin, who's no longer with the UFC.
No, I'm thinking of Max Griffin, light skinned looking dude, the beard. Yeah, no,
they both look the same. Minus one's short and one's a taller dude. Yeah, they don't look that much different.
Yeah, no, I'm not getting. Max Griffin's the one that fought Mike Perry, right?
Yeah,
both of them. Look, yeah, Mike Perry's another car crash fighter. Yeah,
but he does it kind of exciting.
I guess.
Maybe not.
Not recently. Not recently,
man. I don't know. I'm not excited to see Carlos Condit fight. I'm not really.
Did you lower it to a 0.25 now?
I'll go 0.1.
We haven't given out a 0 yet. I don't think.
0's a number. No,
I don't think 0
I'm
has
not
been
gonna
out
give it a 0.
there.
It's not gonna be horrible. If I could give a 0, if we talked about like Augusto Sakai and Jairzinho Rozenstruik, that would have been a 0.
Really?
No, come on.
I'm not.
Jairzinho's not that boring.
No, he's not, but I'm not excited to see that. It's my excitement factor, guys.
That's
mine.
true.
Okay. Anyway, let's go to the next one.
Tough guy to please over here.
Well, did you want to do Kelvin Gastelum stepping in and now he'll face Jared Cannonier? I mean, Gastelum's just stepping in on the short notice fights. He keeps getting the big fights.
Guys, that is a fun ass fight.
Yeah, that's a good.
Not gonna lie, that's
interesting matchup.
Like, I mean, him and Paulo Costa would have been better, but Kelvin actually just getting to stand there and box with someone that can box as well as Jared Cannonier too. That's a fun fight. I mean, I'm not that high on Kelvin Gastelum. I'm all out on him, but I'm giving that one. I'll give that one a 4. 5 would have been like Paulo Costa, but his bitch ass is just pulling out everything. So
I'll go 4 too. I like that fight a lot. I think Kelvin Gastelum. I'm not out like Kevin Gastelum will never be a champ, but I'm a fan of Kevin Gastelum. Like he
needs to go down.
He needs to get off the fucking elote, like Jose would say, and fucking go down there and fight at your fucking natural weight class, dude. You're 5'9" and tubby at weigh-ins, bro. Come on, bro. Like go to your natural weight class and fucking fight. You can compete with all these guys. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But that's just, I guess, his thing. If you do whatever makes you happiest in life. So if he likes eating more, who
doesn't?
Cool. I just never forget. He was on. Was it on Embedded or a Countdown that he fucking was like he had to make weight like later on that week, and like he was like fucking eating like a bunch of food with his like family, like beans and tortillas and all sorts of shit. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? They had a whole
cardio. His cardio is not awful though.
No, it's good.
It's not.
He looks good.
Because muscle takes energy, not fat. DC's cardio is great.
Yeah, that's true.
This is true.
My cardio is not too bad either, actually, thinking about it.
Okay, Zach.
I'm just saying, it is.
Do we have another one?
Well, I'm going to give that one a 4 as well. But, yeah, that's actually all we had for Rate That Matchup. If you want to go into headlines like The Ultimate Fighter, I don't know if you guys watched that. Was not really impressed by season or episode 1 at all.
Yeah, guys, this show is so over the hill. I tried. I watched it, and I was falling asleep while watching it. And I don't typically fall asleep while watching things too often. It's just after Dana White Contender Series came out, that's what any fight fan wants to see. I just want to see the fights. I don't want to see a whole show of guys bickering and arguing and telling their sob stories. Yeah. And then fighting one fight a show. Like I get for some people, it's like nostalgia and they want to see it. And so like they loved it back then. But like the Ultimate Fighter was great when the sport was new and, there was Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonner and like these guys that, it was much different sport then. Yeah. Now you don't need all of that. You don't need to like these guys are fighting like every other week. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm not a fan of it.
Also put it this way. Yes, there has been some elite talents emerge from like the Ultimate Fighter, but none with real true immediate impact other than like Kamaru Usman, like in recent times. Just, I don't know. Like also even Dana White's Contender Series after season 2, none of those guys have really just come around and
they just gave too many contracts.
Right. Yeah, they give too many contracts. And then also like season 1 had some like elite crazy talents that are like doing great now. Then they took off fucking Snoop Dogg, which I was really pissed off about because he was super entertaining to watch. Like, if you didn't want to watch that, you just didn't have to watch that broadcast. But people are soft, so you know how it goes. Anyway, bring the Snoop cast back, by the way. Bring the Snoop. I want to see him sing lullabies.
He's with Triller.
Oh, God. Anyway, fuck that. Fuck Trillers. I don't know. Also, yeah, DeSuze and Mero, these two comedians from Showtime, like they've been around for a long time. They did the commentary. They were better than Triller's comedy attempts at commentary, but good God, they were just horrible. They were just horrible last night on the Mayweather and Paul stuff. But I digress. I don't even know what the fuck I was talking about now.
Ultimate Fighter?
Oh, it fucking sucks.
Yeah. Contracts.
Ultimate Fighter
Contender Series.
Yeah. Ultimate Fighter is just. The show's been over the hill for a while, and honestly, none of these fucking elite prospects are going to that show anymore. They're overseas fighting in all the other MMA promotions that have emerged over time. Like they're fighting in fucking LFA, they're fighting in KSW in Poland, they're fighting in Cage Warriors in
that's
in the
the
UK.
Other thing is there's just better regional promotions now at this point too, which wasn't the case back in the day.
Yeah.
So now
throw one Dagestani in that shit, and they're fucking everyone up on that show in one night. Hasbulla is killing everyone on the show. Okay. They are. I don't think they're ever going to release. They are milking the shit out of that. I don't think they're ever going to release that fight.
Someone's got to have it. Someone has got to have it.
It's going to get leaked. I'm just at this point.
Reddit will have it first.
At this point, the fight's just going to be horrible. I just know it's going to be horrible.
Oh yeah,
Hasbulla lose, and that's why they're trying to hide it.
Maybe. Shit. Imagine if Hasbulla lost. Pain. Still number one face in the fight game right now.
Mini Khabib.
No, yeah, Mini Khabib. Anyway.
I love that guy. We gotta have him on the show. Man.
There we go. So no more rate that matchup.
No more rate that matchup, and that was really all we had for headlines. Unless you want to talk about Tyron Woodley, Jake Paul.
Because
we missed that last week.
One. Oh, we missed it.
We literally dropped like 5 minutes after we stopped the show last week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I want to get you guys' opinion on this one because Tyron Woodley obviously ended his UFC career on a 4-fight losing streak, but Jake Paul is not really that professional of a boxer, but he does look really nice. Honestly, I know a lot of people were just saying like, oh, Tyron Woodley's going to beat him. He's just going to beat him. It's a surefire thing. But if you really look at what Tyron Woodley's offensive and defensive strategy is boxing-wise in his MMA career, it's a right hand. It's backing up against the fence, and it's waiting for a big right hand. And I'm saying if he can take away that right hand, I think Jake Paul wins this fight. Not going to lie to you. Which is going to be fucking hilarious. It is going to be horrible for all MMA fans, but it will be also just fucking hilarious if that happens.
I think that Tyron Woodley's going to be on suicide watch if that happens because
he might be. His wife left him. He got cut from the UFC, ended it on a 4-fight losing streak. He lost his TMZ spot or whatever the fuck he was on.
This is make or break for him, literally. Like, if he loses, he becomes
everyone's hero with a win. Yeah.
Exactly. This is literally his chance to do it.
If he knocks out Jake Paul, he becomes everyone's hero. If he loses, it's damn embarrassing.
I agree with Kieran, though. I said this when it was announced. Like, at first, I'm like, yeah, Jake Paul's going to lose. And then you actually sit there and you're like, wait a minute. It's Tyron Woodley. Like, Tyron Woodley has
39 years old.
He's sat against the cage for the last 90 minutes he's fought, or probably more than that, and been knocked out as well.
I tell you what I think though. If he comes out, I'll tell you what I think. If he comes out like he did against Vicente Luque, he'll win. Jake Paul does not. He hasn't faced any sort of adversity, and I don't think a kid that grew up rich in Ohio and made vines for a living and worked for Disney has any dog in him. I'm sorry. Can
he eat a punch? Can he eat a punch? Especially if Woodley hits him with the right.
I think he's gonna get either pissed off or just break down completely and wilter. Like you saw his face whenever Floyd and his gang was coming after him. He was fucking terrified. Got your hat. Yeah, no, I don't think that's gonna go well for him. Put me in the ring with Jake Paul. I'll end all this shit. I need to get bigger. I gotta get bigger on TikTok. This is motivation. I will go out there and absolutely put an end to all of this shit. Anyway.
I would love to see it.
We'll
promote it for you.
There you go.
I don't know how much traction it would get, but
I don't know.
Probably
I don't know how much traction I would get right now trying to call him out. So.
Dude, he's on to Connor next. So
well, you got to post on your TikTok a video of you training boxing. Just have Jose hold the pads.
Just 10-second leaks every now and then.
Just 10 seconds. I don't know. I got to finish losing all this weight by the end of the summer. 45 pounds down though.
Hey, attaboy.
Yeah.
Well done.
We'll see.
I probably gained 45 pounds.
Yeah, I gained 50 last year, so I'm almost down all of it now. So it's good.
Pandemic doesn't count.
Yeah, pandemic weight shouldn't count.
Yeah.
See, I got fucked because I had dad weight and then pandemic weight on top of that. Is like
that's not
everything
good.
Just fell in a row at the wrong time.
Fuck is dad weight?
Oh, I don't know. Dad weight is a real thing. It's a real thing.
I'll have energy to cook. Give me some fucking McDonald's.
True that. So that's it. I don't have any other news, but I think Tyron Woodley, if Jake Paul ends up becoming, and I'm ashamed to say this, if Jake Paul ends up becoming plus money, I'm putting money on him.
I'm betting the house on Woodley plus money. I think it's worth a shot. I think it's worth a shot.
It is. No, it definitely is. Yeah.
This is the fight, I think.
He's fought before, like real opponents.
He's knocked people out. Ben Askren could not strike and had double hip.
I don't think Ben Askren could knock any of us out.
This is my thing, though. You can't compare fighter to fighter, just because this is what gets me really concerned. Look at what Rory McDonald did to Tyron Woodley, and that's probably one of the best guys with hands that he's fought in recent times. Or not in recent times because they'd fought a while ago, but training and boxing seriously for as long as Jake Paul has done that now, 3 years, and being athletic and naturally gifted as he is. I've been saying it forever. These MMA guys do not have hands like that. That's why Conor McGregor buzzsawed through the entire division at 145 when he got here. No, these guys really can't box all. That's why I said I would fucking beat Sam Alvey in a boxing match. And it sounds crazy, But if you grow up and you're coordinated and you've done it for years, like you know what to do in these situations. And a lot of people just don't have that gift. It's a whole different game. It's really a whole lot different than people think, especially with big gloves.
Maybe we get you and Sam Alvey on the undercard of Jake Paul Woodley, and then after you beat up Sam Alvey,
I don't want to do that to the MMA community in the same night. If Jake Paul goes out there and just destroys Tyron Woodley, and then I blast Sam Alvey, just some random kid from TikTok, that's going to be pain for them.
Since you're part of the TikTok community, you side with Jake Paul?
No, he's not a TikToker. He blew
up
on
he's
Vine.
a YouTuber.
Yeah, they blew up on Vine. A lot of people, it was funny because DeSuce and Mero last night on the Logan Paul shit was just like, they would never last on Vine. I'm like, that's how they got their popularity. Now, like they blew up on Vine. It was they're a bunch of Vine guys. They're old, bro. They're old. No, but we'll see. I can't wait. It's gonna be a great fight. Tyron Woodley and Jake fucking Paul.
I'm paying for that shit. 100%.
I'm paying for it too. Jake Paul is actually fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. Like the Logan Mayweather thing sucked, but I'm definitely
super happy. I'm definitely watching it because it's not on fucking Triller anymore. I don't have to watch a fucking horrible ass concert right before. Also, I think Triller's going to be done with the fight game. They have a huge fight coming up with Teofimo Lopez, who's the 135 champion. If you guys have heard of Vasily Lomachenko, like high tech, he's like, he beat Vasily Lomachenko for the undisputed title, and he was only like 23. He's so good, so good, and he's fighting on Triller, and that shit is going to do absolutely fuck all for numbers because he's not a star. And have you guys ever heard of him before I just said him?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, no. And you guys are fans of the fight game. Like, no, he's not a star, and nobody that's on Triller is going to want to watch that. They think they're going to get some young audience unless they get fucking Megan Thee Stallion sex tape to fucking preview it. That's the only reason that's going to do any views. Yeah. But anyway, boxing is dead. Well, not dead, but it's fucking dying right now, and MMA is just taking over as the number one combat sport. And I grew up a boxing fan, so I don't. Yeah, that's just what it is. Anyway, let's get to some good fucking fights this weekend. Also, by the way, there's another freak show boxing shit going on this weekend. TikTok versus YouTube.
Oh yeah, Austin McBroom and what's the other
Austin
guy?
McBroom and Bryce Hall.
What's that one on?
I have no fucking clue. I think it's on like some other third party website shit. I don't know.
I gotta find that. I want to watch it.
That's getting illegally streamed. Yeah, oh God.
When will it end?
Never. It's not going to end because this
is
new.
You want to know why? They're making millions of dollars in 25 minutes. All they have to do is take some punches because everyone's going to buy it and watch it.
And they're going to be all pissed that they bought it, and they're still going to buy it the next time.
They're still going to buy it. This has happened with Floyd Mayweather every single time. Everyone would said it was a sham after he fought Pacquiao. Then he fought. Oh, I guess the Conor McGregor one actually did kind of deliver though. You got to see Conor McGregor get stopped.
Yeah,
that was actually entertainment. Yeah, like But now he fought Logan Paul and everything. Nobody wants to buy it again, but they will. If he fights Jake Paul, I guarantee you everyone's going to line up to buy it again.
Or Conor again.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Which could happen.
He's not going to fight Conor again.
You don't think so?
No. I don't think.
Did they call anyone out in the post-fight thing? Any of them?
By the time he fights Conor, he's going to be too old.
True.
Too old.
All right, let's go to 263. This card stacked from beginning to end. I freaking hate Carlos Felipe, and he's first fight on this card. I cannot stand him. Like I feel like that guy has squeaked away with victories in the UFC. Like his fight against Justin Tafa, split decision, which I thought he lost. He's like
good fight though.
It was a good fight, but he's like I feel like really just squeaked away with wins, and that drives me crazy. And then you have Jake Collier, where we're not going to talk shit on Jake Collier because he trains with Dakota Bush, but in the garage, so I'm not going to talk shit on him. But Chase Hooper, we're hoping he gets his ass beat, but he probably won't.
God, he's fighting. He's fighting fucking Steven Peterson, this cornball that has a fucking Superman tattoo on the middle of his fucking chest.
Yep. Then we have Hakeem Dawodu, who I really like, but I think he's got a tough test against Mavzar Evlev. Sure. I'm terrible with these Russian names. Jojo Calderwood and Lauren Murphy. I am so ready for Lauren Murphy to stop talking on Twitter about how she deserves a title shot. I hope Jojo Calderwood pieces her up, and she looked really good her last time out. So
she did.
I'm actually kind of excited for that fight. I know Kieran typically is like, fuck the women's division, but for some reason, because Lauren Murphy has been talking so much shit. Like I see her on my Twitter feed almost every day, and then JoJo Calderwood, who just doesn't say anything and just throws hands. I'm hoping that she dominates. Then we get Eric Anders going up against Darren Stewart again, in which that fight ended with the illegal knee last time, but Eric Anders was fucking him up. And then our friend Eric Anders, Kieran's enemy, but our friend. And then Drew Dober, Brad Riddell, potential fight of the night. That fight is going to be electric. And then we get to the main card. But that was all the prelims I'm looking forward to. I think that is a hell of a way to start the card. And then we get to the main card, which is great.
Yeah. Well,
it's great.
Other than Jamahal Hill and Paul Craig.
I like that fight.
That's an interesting matchup.
And I like Jamahal
versus
I like
Striker,
Jamahal Hill.
Like that could be fun.
I get why it's there though, because you want. I would have. Okay, I'll put it this way. I'd rather have that one before. I'd rather switch that one in Eric Anders and Darren Stewart.
No, I agree.
I mean, Dober and Riddell.
Dober and Riddell has to be on ESPN as a prelim card. I understand because that's a banger. That's a banger. Yeah. That gets people interested.
I agree though. I would have switched. I would have put Anders and then Anders and Stewart as the first fight on the main card. But what are you gonna do?
Hey, Lauren Murphy, she wins this fight. Title shot.
She's gonna get a title shot. Yeah, that's why we need her to lose.
It's okay. We either get to see her lose now or get absolutely fucked by Valentina.
True.
It's okay.
But she poses a threat. Just so she says it. That's what she says. That's what she says.
No one in that damn division does.
There goes Kieran. He goes dark.
Kieran, anytime you bring up the 125ers, he's long gone.
I'm done.
But first fight, though, Paul Craig, Jamahal Hill. Jamahal Hill, he's losing the tattoo game. The worst tattoos I've ever seen in my life. It looks like hand-drawn thumbs up on his chest. The worst tattoo ever. But the dude can throw hands. He's a very, very good striker. Still young yet at 8-0. So I do think that is a tough test for him as far as, you got Craig, who has 19 career fights and has fought some pretty decent competition. His last win against Shogun, in which Shogun tapped the strikes. But he's lost to a lot of guys that can strike, though. He's lost to Alonzo Menafield. He's lost to Jimmy Crute by sub. He lost to Khalil Roundtree and Tyson Pedro, whatever happened to Tyson Pedro? He was a guy everyone was talking about, and then he just fell off. But so because of that, I think that obviously if you're trying to bet money, maybe Paul Craig at plus money because he is a super vet against a guy who's 8-0. But Jamahal Hill's last win, he knocked out OSP, which a lot of people knock out OSP nowadays. But that's still a good win. He looked great, and he's got some serious power. And I think because of that, I think Paul Craig's going to go to sleep. He struggles with guys that are really good strikers. I think Jamahal Hill is a very good striker. And I think this is a perfect step up for him in competition because he's still young, gradually work his way up in the division. I'm going Jamahal Hill by knockout. And by the way, guys, we have no Kerry today. So you know.
Sorry. Kerry can't be here. That's all right. The comic relief, we'll have to make up for it. But this one's, I feel like, pretty straightforward. Like, Paul Craig submits everyone. Jamahal Hill, very good striker, tall as shit, very lanky, very dangerous. But the only 8 pro fights, that kind of scares me a little bit. The OSP fight was good. I thought he looked really good in that because OSP had I think he had won 2 or 3 in a row. So good win there. But I actually really like Paul Craig here at plus 240. And then even going further, if you want to take the submission specifically, I'm sure you get good plus 3, plus 400 money on that. I think it's worth it. I think, the veteran guy, he's got a lot of good wins. He beat Magomed Ankalaev. He submitted him. That's a fucking good name. So I just think if he's able to take it to the ground, we don't really know what Hill can do. I imagine Craig's going to have a massive advantage there. So if he can get inside the distance, it's going to be a long night for Hill there. So I think it's worth sprinkling some money on there, and I'll take the pick too. I'll go Paul Craig submission.
We don't have the odds on a sub yet, do we?
I can find it.
It's probably still a little early yet, at least for DraftKings.
I'll say Jamahal Hill. Like every young black explosive fighter that puts people to sleep, probably has holes in his grappling game, because everybody else does. I don't know. Paul Craig does shit out of nowhere too. Like he'll just be completely getting dominated and just pull a submission out of his ass.
Off his back.
Yeah, and he's very experienced. He's a very experienced guy. Man, I don't know. I really don't know, guys. I'm gonna go Jamahal Hill just because I think Jamahal Hill will catch him before he gets caught in some shit. But this is one of those fights that you never know what's gonna happen, you know. So I'll go Jamahal Hill.
I feel like we got to agree though. The odds are kind of, in my opinion, way off. Minus 300 is a big favorite.
Well, Jamahal Hill's technically undefeated and been putting
8-0. I mean, 2-0-1 in the UFC.
He's not that experienced yet, but we'll see. We'll see.
You see some knockouts. You see knockouts, and I think also, the odds makers at times get jittery.
Yeah,
they do.
Also, his the funny thing is his one like no contest was overturned. It was a TKO overturned because he tested positive for weed.
Oh yeah, that's what that was.
Yeah.
Also, Paul Craig, Bear Jew. Just got to put that out there. Call him the Bear Jew.
All right, Steve. Next one.
Demian Maia, Belal Muhammad. This is I don't know what I think about this fight. Belal Muhammad, like his looks very good in the UFC, and then obviously against Leon Edwards, he did not look very good. But I really hold Leon as like a top 3 guy. So, you know, Muhammad has a real opportunity to add a name. It's a big name. It's a 43-year-old name, but it's still a name. I think he's still in the top 10. Demian Maia. I mean, we know what Demian Maia can do. The dude submits everybody. He's like a 4th-degree Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter. So does he have anything left to give? I mean, he's actually 3-3 in his last 6, so he's still putting up W's. We saw him beat Ben Askren not too long ago. And I know Muhammad can wrestle. Like, obviously, that's not something you want to do. You want to stay away from the ground. Maia is the bigger fighter. They both have the same reach. So I do have a little bit of concerns for Belal because he likes to really get in your face. And that's, I don't know, if Maia gets a hold of him, it could be trouble. But fuck, man, this is a tough one. I'm going to take a shot on it. I'm going to go Demian Maia by submission.
Yeah, so what if we parlay Paul Craig and Demian Maia both by subs? That's probably a ridiculous amount of odds there.
I love that.
But no, I'm actually kind of going with you, Steve. As I'm sitting here, you know, you look at the level of competition. Belal Muhammad, all right, Leon Edwards. That fight is probably, and Jeff Neal are probably his biggest names. Well, he lost to Vicente Luque, Alan Jouban. Any good top tier fighter, he's lost to them and was on the verge of losing to Leon Edwards. Then the eye poke happened. On the other hand, Demian Maia, you know, his big losses are to guys that are the top of the division at their times. You know, Gilbert Burns, Usman, Covington, Tyron Woodley. He's beaten Masvidal, Carlos Condit, Matt Brown, Gunnar Nelson, Neil Magny. So for me, I know he's older, but if he can withstand a little bit of damage, I could, like, what if he backpacks Belal Muhammad and just gets a rear naked choke? Like, I could see it happening. I could totally see it happening.
Everyone else.
Yeah.
Great.
So I'm going to go Demian Maia by sub too. I like the pick.
Let's go.
And it's probably crazy odds.
No, not really. He's
no,
plus 180. Plus 180.
Okay.
It's not crazy, but I'll put it this way: Belal Muhammad is not that fucking good. Holy shit! I'm sorry. He's not, and I'm tired of everyone. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure everyone's over it now, but everyone was acting like he was gonna give Leon Edwards some sort of test and not get absolutely pieced the fuck up for the rest of the fight. Like, I don't know. But then again, you look at Demian Maia's losses, and they've come to either guys, well, mostly guys that can just keep him off of him. Came against great wrestlers. He lost to Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, Kamaru Usman, and Gilbert Burns. All phenomenal wrestlers. Everybody else, he got their back and choked them out, or just got their back and fucked them. Really, like just just took care of them. I think he does the same thing to Belal Muhammad. Demian Maia is a tough person to figure out. He is older though. But I'm not 43. A believer in Belal Muhammad, bro. I'm not. I'm just not. I understand. Yeah, he talks all the time on Twitter during all these fucking cards and whatnot, but he's a cornball to me. I don't know. I'm sorry. This is personal, but I don't think Belal Muhammad is that good. And honestly, I think Demian Maia beats him. But I think if not by submission, by decision. It's a tough task. It's a tough task to get him off of you, and especially Demian Maia is so much longer than Belal Muhammad is as well.
He is.
He's a big guy. Like, no, I got Belal Muhammad's not going to put Demian Maia out. You got to be sneaky too. Like it's tough, but Gilbert Burns was able to do it, and Gilbert Burns is one of the most explosive strikers at that weight class now. I'm sorry, Demian Maia is gonna win. I'm taking money.
Submission.
I got submission.
Yeah, I mean, dude,
that means that Belal's gonna win because we all picked sub.
I don't give a shit. If he wins that one, that gives him someone else to get absolutely worked by. Dude is just a fucking guy that talks on Twitter, and everyone overrates him and thinks that he's good.
Puts the sunglasses, puts the shades on, mid octagon when he wins. He's got the new show out. I don't know. He does have really good takedown.
Like Leon was less of a man for wanting to fight the 13th ranked fighter in the division.
Leon beat the shit out of him.
Oh, I don't know. He's lucky that shit didn't keep going because he was gonna get worked. I don't know. I'm not trying to shit on Belal Muhammad.
If he goes out there and wins, I'm not going to be surprised.
I don't know. It's just people just annoy me when they just start yapping because he seems like a pretty good guy for the most part.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with Belal Muhammad.
He's good.
I'm just kind of pulling for Demian Maia in this one. Kieran, you want to take us to Leon and Nate?
Yeah, sure.
Fight that you were supposed to see.
Fight that never was.
A fight that I was supposed to fucking see and super excited about, but then. Bullshit fucking happens all the time in MMA, and there might be a couple pullouts this week before this fight even happens, and then some of these picks are going to be rendered useless.
True. You're
Pain.
Right.
That's just the game. Leon Edwards is facing Nate Diaz in what should be a very interesting and fun fight to watch. By interesting, I mean Leon Edwards is going to beat the shit out of Nate Diaz for 5 rounds because this is a 5-round contest.
Is it still 5?
Yeah, it is a 5-round contest. Yeah, which is really fun. I like the fact that we're getting 3 straight 5-round fights, though. That's like if shit starts moving quickly, I love the fact that we're not going to have just like a short fight that's yada, yada, yada. And plus, you have a guy like Nate Diaz that is interesting. Leon Edwards is going to absolutely destroy him, though. I'm sorry. Nate Diaz's boxing is not world class like everyone likes to make you believe that it is. Like, it's not. I'm sorry. He's solid. He's a really good boxer. But he's not this fucking world class, I have better hands than everyone in the division type. No. Hell no. I think Nate Diaz is a matchup guy, though. Like, I don't think Nate Diaz does well against Kamaru Usman, but I think he does phenomenal against a guy like Dustin Poirier. I don't think he does well against a let's say a Justin Gaethje, but I think he does phenomenal against Conor. He just has a weird style, weird matchup guy. This is not one of those matchups. It's not one of those matchups that I think he does well. Leon is longer than him, taller than him, quicker than him, stronger than him, more technical than him. The only advantage Nate Diaz has over him is his jiu-jitsu. And this fight is not touching the ground unless Leon Edwards wants it to. It's jiu-jitsu and cardio. That's it. It's just jiu-jitsu, chin, and cardio. That's what he has over Leon Edwards. And he doesn't have the power to hurt him. I think this fight's going to be easy showcase for Leon Edwards, and it gives the UFC an opportunity to push him to a title shot that he so fucking rightly deserves and has been deserving more than Colby Covington, who's fought a guy once since losing the title shot, who is now cut from the UFC and fighting a YouTuber. Anyway, I'm going Leon Edwards via. Actually, I'll say fucking stoppage. It's either going to be a cut or it's going to be a straight up TKO.
Yeah, I think there's a reason why Nate Diaz was calling out 55ers. Nate Diaz don't want to fight 70ers because they're going to be better than him in all facets, minus the BJJ. But they're going to be stronger. Leon is a big dude in that division, and I just think he's more well-rounded. He's going to be the better overall fighter in the fight. I don't know if it's going to be a finish though. Diaz is a tough bastard, man. He's super, super tough. Like you said, I think the only way it gets stopped is by like a cut. Other than that, I just don't see him getting put away like that. So I'm going to go Leon, but I'm going to go decision in this one.
I think, if you guys watch the Embedded, and we even saw it in the last fight against Belal, but Leon is like in like peak physical condition. He looks unbelievable. 29 years old. He's hitting his prime. We just don't get to see enough of him, but I really I've done a complete 180 on this guy. I think he is definitely top 3 in that division. I think if he wins this, he has to get the title shot next. Diaz, what have we really seen? He beat Anthony Pettis when he came back after like a 3-year hiatus, and then he got the shit kicked out of him by George Masvidal. And Leon Edwards is a guy who is very, very good at striking, but also has a really good ground game to go with it. Very well-rounded Leon Edwards. Nate Diaz is just looking for a fight, trying to stay relevant here. I think Leon's going to freaking steamroll him. I originally had decision, but I'm going to go Leon, and I'm going to go with the TKO.
Wow. TKO
also,
tough against Nate.
Worth noting, too, I had this at minus 500 yesterday, and it's already up to minus 575 for Leon. The money is coming in on Leon.
Yeah. Next fight, co-main event. Deiveson Figureiredo versus Brandon Moreno. This was an absolute war the first time. But granted, the fight was a draw, right? But Figueiredo had lost a point in that fight.
Yeah, he needed him in the nuts.
If he doesn't lose the point, he wins the fight. So just people need to kind of remember that. I think people forget that very, very easily.
I have a counterpoint to that too, though.
Go ahead.
Fifth round, because I just watched this about an hour ago, just to recap it. But fifth round, Moreno broke his arm. I think he won the fourth round, had the momentum going into round 5, and like immediately the commenters are like, "Oh shit, he broke his left arm," and he basically was inactive in that last round. So had he stayed healthy in that last round, he could win that round. And if Deiveson wins the other round, it kind of evens out.
Yeah, but with that being said, though, I love Moreno. I love the story. Cut from the UFC, comes back, fights, looks incredible, and then pushes the champ to the brink. I mean, he touched up Figueiredo more than I can remember Figueiredo really getting touched up the way that he did. But with that being said, Deiveson that week also was dealing with illness issues where I don't know if he was in the hospital, but he was getting checked out for a lot of different things. And so he wasn't himself from everything that we were reading. And I just think this week now he had time to digest. We saw what he did against Benavidez. Like Benavidez, like the first round, it was like not awful, and then he put him away. And then the second time, it just wasn't even close. Mm-hmm. I just think that he's going to make those adjustments against Moreno. He's going to be healthier coming into this fight. I think he's going to put Moreno away at this time. I think it's going to be an easier win for Deiveson. I'm going to go Deiveson by TKO.
Man, this one. So when this first fight happened, shout out to my poster. I picked Moreno to win. And I said that because I thought that Deiveson Figueiredo was going to overlook Brandon Moreno, and that we're kind of discounting the fact that he's super well-rounded. He can strike, he can roll, he can go to the ground, he can do whatever he wants to do. And I just kind of took a shot in the dark there, and it actually looked very good. Plus the cardio concerns with Deiveson Figueiredo cutting weight, going the distance. You don't really know how that's going to go. Brandon Moreno has some of the best cardio in the UFC that I've seen. And when you go and rewatch that fight, he is there the entire time, and you can kind of see Figueiredo slowing down. However, the power kind of still stays with it. So, however, I don't know. It's really hard to say otherwise. Like Figueiredo, the second time around, you have to imagine he's going to make those adjustments. It did come out that the night before the fight, he was in the hospital. I think he had like some sort of food poisoning or some sort of illness that was kind of messing him up. So I have to imagine that a healthy Deiveson Figueiredo, but also didn't he get COVID? And he was battling COVID, and that's why they kind of delayed this fight a little bit. So there could be some after effects there. I don't know. The odds are still like it's minus 240 Figueiredo, plus 200 Moreno. I still feel like it's a little bit closer. I don't think the magic's going to be there for Moreno a second time around. I just think Figueiredo just super well-rounded, just super strong, dude. This guy can hit like a freaking freight train. I think he is going to land that shot eventually too. Moreno's never been finished, but I do think this is the time. So Figueiredo, TKO.
I don't know. I'll put it this way. Brandon Moreno was starting to figure shit out later and later that fight went. But then also Deiveson Figueiredo is just like a tank. He's just a tank. He's just going to walk you down, eat all your shots, and then deliver power right back at you. I don't know, man, because he was getting outboxed later on in that fight. But it's tough. It's going to be I think we're going to get a replay of the same thing, but I think Deiveson Figueiredo is not going to punch him in the dick or kick him in the dick, whatever he did that fucked him up. And not get a point taken away, because that was legitimately the difference in the first fight. I don't know, man. I'm gonna lean Figueiredo, but it wouldn't surprise me if Brandon Moreno actually went out there and just outboxed him. especially later on, if he can take those shots early. And I think he's not going to finish them still. I think Brandon Moreno's got a fucking iron chin. So I'm going to go Figgy via decision. That's going to be my pick. Figgy via decision.
And Moreno had I want to say 5 takedowns throughout that fight. Like he was taking down Figueiredo at will pretty easily.
It could be one of those fights where it goes to judges and it's a controversial decision. We're in Figgy's favor, and then we get a third time.
Yeah.
That would be pretty crazy.
I'd kind of be into that. Although we're seeing more contenders in that division, so I would like to see some other guys get in there. But I mean, that would be
25 is 25 is
Askarov needs to fight for the title.
Right.
Next. Yeah.
Right. Or Cody.
Steve, which division's deeper, 25 or 35?
35.
Okay. Kieran disagrees with me.
You said what again?
Nothing. I was going back to our other video.
No,
All right,
let's get to what did Steve say?
I thought 35.
Oh yeah.
If I'm looking at the rankings,
35 is way more stacked than 55, right?
I said I like 25 more than 35.
Yeah, 35 is way better than 25, bro. I don't know what you're
Yeah, there's 4 good fighters in 25.
I don't know. I like 25 better.
I love
everyone,
Matt Schnell for whatever
exactly.
reason.
Everyone below Matt Schnell and below is just kind of garbage,
guys. All right, let's get to the main event.
Marab Divashvili sitting at number 10 at 135. Come on, dude.
Steve, take us to the main event.
All right. Fuck yeah. Israel Adesanya. He's back, taking on Marvin Vettori for the second time. I rewatched this fight also today. I really do not think it's going to go much different than that first time around. And basically what happened was for the first 2 rounds, Israel Adesanya stopped all the takedowns, outstruck him, kept his distance. He did what he always does. And then Vettori in the 3rd round was able to score a couple takedowns, but didn't do anything with it because Israel Adesanya is just a bigger guy. We're talking the 185 division now. He's 6 foot 4 inches. He has an 80-inch reach. Israel Adesanya at this weight class is just far superior to everyone except for Robert Whittaker. Love what Marvin Vettori has been doing. A ton of respect. He's on a really big win streak. The Kevin Holland fight, though, he just did exactly what everyone else should be doing, just go for the takedowns. The Jack Hermanson win, that was a good win. I thought he looked really good in that. But again, it's Izzy back at 185. He's looking to make a statement here. He's going to be able to stop the takedowns. Just think of the progression these two have made. Vettori looks great, but Israel Adesanya has turned into a mega superstar since then and has really just perfected his striking. So I don't really see it going too much differently here. It would be cool to see Marvin Vettori win for the Italian fans out there, but man, I'm a huge Izzy guy. I can never pick against him, and I do not think it ends here. I think we get the Whittaker-Izzy fight after this, and we're going to be very happy about that. So Israel Adesanya finishes him TKO.
I see this fight going much different than the first time. I don't think it's going to be even close. I think Izzy's going to destroy Marvin Vettori. I think Marvin Vettori, and if you've seen his last 2 fights, he gets hit way too much. He's got the takedowns, but against Jack Hermanson, Jack Hermanson got a second life when he kind of rocked Marvin in that fight. And then even against Kevin Holland, Kevin Holland hit him solid a lot of times. And Izzy's power is so much better than Kevin Holland and Jack Hermanson. You don't think so?
No.
You don't think Izzy has better power?
Have you seen Izzy dead someone like Kevin Holland did Joaquin Buckley? Kevin Holland hits way harder than Izzy does. I mean, Izzy's my favorite fighter. Kevin Holland hits harder than Izzy does.
I don't know. He
knocked out Whittaker pretty nice.
Whittaker pretty good.
No, I mean, yeah, he catches people clean, but that was over. He's going to catch you clean, but it's not like he has this deading power. I mean, he caught Brad Tavares with a clean ass 1-2 and a bunch of big shots, but didn't put him away. He's going to counter you well. He's going to hit you nice where you don't see it coming. He hit Paulo Costa behind the ear, but Kevin Holland hits fucking hard. He puts people to sleep.
I don't know, man.
I don't watch the Joaquin Buckley fight. I'm telling you, Izzy's my favorite fighter.
DiChirico knocked out Joaquin Buckley.
Of course, bro. Is Izzy sleeping Jacare from his back?
It's Jacare though, a 40-year-old
Jacare. Come on, bro. He hits harder. I'm telling you, he hits harder.
Either way, I think that Marvin's gonna wear too much damage from Izzy. I think Izzy's gonna. I could see him getting knocked out almost exactly the way that that Paulo got knocked out. He's going to enter for takedowns. I think Izzy's going to catch him a couple times, and that's going to be it. I like I kind of like Marvin Vettori, but like the way he talks shit is so cringy. Like he's so cringy. That I think that's what kind of makes me off the Marvin train. I don't dislike his fight style. I love how passionate he is. Like you can tell he loves the sport and loves what he's doing. I think that's what I admire about him. But it's Izzy, man. Like Izzy to me is probably like the second biggest draw behind Conor. To me. Like I like watching Izzy just right behind Conor McGregor. I mean, that's how big of a star I think that he is. I've been a fan of Izzy since he stepped foot in the octagon. And he's going to be hungry after that last loss to Jan Blachowicz. I'm going to go Izzy. I'm actually going to go. I'm going to go decision though. I think that he can knock him out. I think that he can knock him out. But I'm going to play it safe points wise. I'm going to go decision because Marvin does have a chin. He has been caught clean a lot of times, but I want to see Marvin kind of get knocked out by Izzy, but we're in a race here, Steve, and I'm trying to get some more points. So I'm going to go Izzy by decision. Kieran?
I think Izzy is going to absolutely work him. Like, I'll put it this way. The improvements that Izzy has made over that time period are insane. And I understand Marvin was young, but it's still the same. He still fights in the same mold. He's going to pressure you with boxing, and he's going to get into a clinch, and he's going to make it dirty and nasty and fight you because he has a chin, and he's going to take it. He moves his head well. He's a good fighter. Marvin was a really good fighter. Izzy is just a next level, ridiculously good kickboxer, and that's just how good he is. He's just going to be that next level, fuck you up kind of guy. Like that's just what's going to happen. Izzy's going to dominate him. In my opinion, he's going to stay on the outside. He's going to land shots. If Marvin Vettori closes the distance and tries to wrestle him, I think especially after getting wrestled by Jan Blachowicz, he's going to have counters for that. The only thing I will say is if Izzy continues to go back into his like leaning back and trying to like land hooks like he did against Whitaker, that got countered by Jan, by him taking him down, he will lose this fight. He will. He's going to lose the fight if he continues to think that he can counter by leaning back and having his hips more forward than his actual torso is. Like he's going to lose because Marvin's going to take him down every single time he does that. That's what Marvin Vettori is banking on. I guarantee it.
Yeah, and we're talking about Israel Adesanya, potentially one of the smartest fighters out there. So he probably will not be doing that.
Yeah, it's either that or Marvin Vettori is going to land a lucky shot and get him out. If that doesn't happen, which I don't think it will against Izzy because he's so damn good, especially at 185. He's bigger than everybody, longer than everybody, and now you can't even take him down. I think he's going to have his way with I really think he's going to have his way with Marvin Vettori. So I got Izzy via knockout. I'll say second or third round knockout. He'll finish it, especially since he's motivated and Marvin's talking a lot of shit. Marvin is a tough guy though. He doesn't really get cracked, but I think Izzy's just. If Izzy can keep it on the feet the whole time, he's not going to last. So Izzy via third round stoppage. I'll say that much because he's tough.
And Marvin does seem to gas in like the third, fourth round. He kind of starts to fade a bit. If he
can't get him to the ground and it's round 4, you're going to see a completely different Marvin Vettori because he's going to be huffing and puffing and going all around. If you're
Vettori, you got to go balls to the wall, like getting the takedowns early in rounds 1 and 2, steal the first 2 rounds. Just through the takedowns alone, and you have to land pretty vicious ground and pound to beat up Izzy and really slow him down. But you have to win basically the first 2 rounds. I think the longer it's going to go on, Izzy's just going to piece you up the way he does it to every single person, and by the end of it, you'll probably just be unconscious.
I agree.
Me too. I 100% agree. So that's UFC 263, a card in which that is going to be one of the better cards of the year. Nate Diaz makes his long-awaited return. We get the 125 strap back in action, and then we have Izzy back. And you got to. My last point is you got to admire Izzy's, constant fighting. Probably the most active guy in the UFC as far as champs go. I mean, just fighting seems like every couple months. I mean, you got to admire that about a guy. You could tell he loves the sport. And, we'll probably see him again here in another couple months after this fight. I mean, he just constantly is fighting, and you got to love it, especially a guy that is as big of a draw. You have the Conor McGregor who became big and is only fighting once a year typically. And then you got Izzy, who is a massive draw, and he's just like, I'm just going to fight all the time. So I love that. You got to be a fan of the guy. And I'm super pumped for this weekend. Fellas, anything else for the good of the cause?
All good here. Can't wait for it. Sir. If Izzy loses, you're going to see tears from a grown man on Saturday. So, especially if I have to see Marvin Vettori. Fucking, oh my God.
And Kieran, you are hosting the show Saturday. I'm gonna be there, but I'm letting you do your thing. We're gonna follow your lead. I'm excited about it, and so be prepared, which you always are. So I don't have to worry about that. But guys, that's gonna do it for this show. If you liked what you heard, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you tell everyone about it. Go follow us on all social media platforms at the MMA Stooges. We're always putting out some good conversation starters on there. Also, shout out to our sponsor, Sheath Underwear. Go to sheathunderwear.com, use promo code Coffee and KOs, get 20% off your entire purchase. It is the best underwear in the world. It is summertime, and you will thank me later. So don't forget to sheath your dagger and go get yourself a pair. And we will see you all on Saturday right after the main event here, talking about all the action. Have a good week, everyone, and we will see you all next time.